Good morning, I'm Benjamin, reporter from Lord Wandsworth College. On the 8th of March, Malaysia's airline flight MH370 went missing over the South Indian Ocean en route to Beijing from KL Airport. The plane, that had been flown by pilot Zahari Ahmad Shah, had 227 passengers on board. Additionally, 2 Iranian men were discovered travelling under false passports. However, detailed investigations have shown no apparent links between them and any terrorist group. Bill has been interviewing Malaysian citizens. Over to Bill and Raf.
Do you know of any of the passengers on the missing flight, and has this incident affected you personally?
I don't know anyone personally, but I know people who were friends with people on the flight. Of course, like everyone's talking about it in Malaysia, you can't really flip through a newspaper without seeing something on basically every page. But yeah.
Okay. How do you think this incident has affected the Malaysian public as a whole?
Well, to be honest, it's quite mishandled, and I think everyone can see that. And especially considering it's one of the first times that Malaysia's been on the world stage, I think everyone's sort of angry that it's been mishandled and that now the world has such a view on Malaysia, because it was really badly handled. I mean, you never really knew who was telling the truth and which ministers were actually had proper information.
All right. Has this incident put a scare on the use of air travel at all?
I think people will be afraid of using Malaysian Airlines now, but to be honest, if you look at it in context, if you look at how many flights take off every day and how many actually crash, it's still an extremely safe way to travel.
Yeah.
But of course, people are still going to question it, especially considering everything that's happened.
So from what you know or have heard, what do you believe is the reason for the plane to go missing?
Considering every expert in the world still hasn't figured it out, I don't think I'm really qualified to say anything, but there's so many different theories, like, for instance, that the pilot passed out because of a fire on board, or that he was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. I mean, like, I can't really say anything because I don't have all the information, and I don't know if you get this in the UK, but definitely in Malaysia, there are so many different theories coming from so many different people that it's sort of hard to formulate a proper opinion on it.
Okay. So how do people react to finding out that the plane may have been found in the Indian Ocean?
I think at first they were definitely sad, because even though after 18 days people there still hadn't been any news, people still had a bit of hope, and to be told by the Malaysian Prime Minister that the plane had crashed in the Indian Ocean was, I think, still quite a shock to everyone. Personally, I think it was more of an assumption that they've made, that because they can't find anything, they're assuming that it's crashed. But again, I can't really say.
All right, thank you very much, Raf.
Right.
Now Bill will interview Sammy.
Do you know or know of any of the passengers on the missing flight, and has this incident affected you personally?
No, I didn't know anyone on the plane, but someone at school's dad's colleague knew, like, had people on the plane, but I'm not sure how true that is and how far-fetched it sounds.
Okay. How do you think this incident has affected the Malaysian public as a whole?
I think the Malaysian public are quite annoyed, and then there's this whole 2014's like Visit Malaysia year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So recently it's been really bad on the Malaysian economy, because China, there's loads of Malaysian Chinese, and obviously they had families back in China. Now that whole tourism industry is gonna go down. And also I think everyone kind of saw Malaysia as this kind of safe haven in a way, like Thailand always had.
Yeah.
Bad things connected to it. And no one had really been to Vietnam and Laos and the country down here, so Malaysia was still like a bit of an undiscovered area, I think. now it doesn't look good. And of course, all the news of how like the Malaysian government have been really bad with it. I'm not sure how bad they have been, but just it's not looking good for the Malaysian. The people are getting annoyed, like on Twitter and things. They're starting to slag off the government, saying how any other country would have found it by now and that kind of thing. So I think it's a kind of a shock combined with a why is it taken 18 days kind of thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Sammy and Ruff. Now back to Benji.
Thank you, Bill. The two big questions now are how and why. For the plane to have disappeared, the three transponders on the plane would have had to have been turned off manually. Of course, technical failure is still a possibility. However, conspiracy theories, as mentioned by our interviewees, such as terrorism or the pilot wanted to commit suicide after splitting with his wife, continue to circulate. Malaysian citizens continue to blame the government for not doing enough, and despite reports of 300 floating objects being found in the ocean, Malaysians are still worried about the outcome of this tragedy. I'm Benjamin, reporting from Lord Wandsworth College for BBC Newsday.